So in this video, we're going to be making something we can aim with for when we will shoot our mask at an enemy. That speed will change, but this is it for now. And then we also have this new Self Destruct attack that can kill the enemy. Okay, so I've got some new assets. We've got a Possessor mask, which we are going to just put into assets. Then under effects, let me just select effects. We have the Possess effect and Void Particle. Then in attacks, we have a player Self Destruct. Just gonna wanna re-import all of these without the filters. Then now we're gonna go into our player, and actually we'll open project settings, into input map. We'll scroll down. I want to see what we have right now. Left, right, jump, attack. Okay, so we're also gonna need a key for Self Destruct. We need this here, and then we're gonna make that our Q button. So then what we can do is we can go into our player script. I'm just going to close that. And then we need to make a... Actually, let's go create a new scene first. We're going to make a kinematic body 2D. I'm going to call this Player Possess Mode, and we can save it under scenes, and we're gonna add a sprite to it and a collision shape 2D, an area 2D, which we also need a collision shape for. And then we're going to drag in this Possessor mask for the sprite. And then collision is fairly unimportant. We want to make it smaller than the mask itself. Yeah. Just hide that. And then we're going to do the same thing with this, except for it's going to be one bigger. Yeah. We can hide that, and we want it to detect enemies. And now we can add a script to it. So we can go func physics process. Let's declare some variables first. Actually, var motion is equal to vector 2 0 0. Var speed is equal to 300. Let's say. Okay, so in our physics process, we are going to make it so that if actually we're going to need to go into our ready. And we'll declare var direction is equal to vector 2 0 0. So in our ready function, we're gonna go direction is equal to get local mouse position dot normalized. Then in our physics process, we'll do motion is equal to direction times speed times delta times 10, and motion is equal to move and slide motion vector 2 0 negative 1. That'll be all we need for now, I think. Actually, we can just change this area 2D's name to possess detector, and we're doing that. So we'll go on body entered. We'll go if body dot is in group can possess. Then we're just gonna pass for now. Actually, we'll do self.query. And something I'll need in the future is const player is equal to preload player .tscn. Okay, so now we will go into our clone, and on our stun timeout, we're going to do self.remove from group can possess, and then when we die, we want to self.add to group can possess. So now we'll go into a player, and then what's our states we have? Ledge hanging and basic. We haven't done any ledge hanging yet. Yeah, so in basic we'll do where should I put this? Probably in check for attack. Depends how much is in there. Do we have all of that? It's kind of big. So I'm gonna make func check for, actually we'll just do update destruct, and we'll pass. So then we're gonna do const player possess mode is equal to preload player possess mode.tscn. I'm just gonna close this because we won't need it. So there's a file I forgot to bring in, which is aiming possess. So we'll add that in, re-import it without a filter, and we're gonna add a sprite to the player. We'll name this aiming possess, and we'll drag this in. I just gotta switch to the inspector, so we'll drag that in on top of the player, and then we're gonna actually there's something else we need to do in the import. We're going to enable repeat and re-import it, and what that does is when we stretch it, it doesn't work with transform. It doesn't work with transform, but we have something which is to region. So the X and Y is basically like the offset to where it starts, and then we have the width and height here. So it's got 1 width and 3 height. Then we'll just enable that. So right now it doesn't change anything, but if we change this height to something like 20, then you see it will repeat itself. Yeah, we'll just leave it at 3 for now. And we'll go into our script. So now in our player, we'll just, yeah, so we need to do update destruct. And I'm just gonna close this. So in our update destruct, we're also gonna call update aiming possess, which will be a function right underneath it. And in that script, what we're going to do is go var mouse pose is equal to get local mouse position. We gotta declare another onReady variable here. onReady var aiming possess is equal to money aiming possess. So then aiming possess, something else I forgot. We need a raycast. This will be aiming collision. Enable it, set to 0, 0, needs to collide with the environment, which it is. So then, also gonna declare that as an onReady variable. onReady var aiming collision is equal to money aiming collision. So then, aiming collision dot rotation degrees is equal to rad to deg vector 2 0, 0 dot angle dot angle to point mouse pose and plus 90. And what rad to deg does is that a lot of the time the rotation will be decided by in radians and not degrees, but personally, like most people, I am unfamiliar with radians, and so it's easier for me to work with degrees in my heads, so I always convert radians to degrees. So then we want to do if aiming collision dot is colliding, then we need to declare another variable. So I'm gonna put this here and go var last aim collide is equal to null. So then last aim collide is equal to 2 local aiming collision dot get collision point else last ax aim else last aim collide is equal to mouse pose dot normalized times 300. Then we'll do if last aim collide is not equal to null, last aim collide dot region rect dot size dot y. Oh wait, aiming possess dot region rect dot size dot y is equal to vector 2 0, 0 dot distance 2 last aim collide. Then aiming possess dot rotation degrees is equal to rad to deg vector 2 0, 0 dot angle to point mouse pose plus 90. What this does is it basically, we have our aiming collision, which I need to set this to like 300. I forget if it's X or Y I need to set this to. But it's basically just gonna look around to see where the environment is that collides with. And if it hits something, then it's gonna pass in what it hit into this variable. And if it doesn't, then we are just going to have it so that this variable is at a very big size, basically. And then what this does is that it updates our sprite to be the length and rotation based on what this has hit. I'm just going to turn visible collision shapes on, and then now we can launch this. Or not. Let me try this again. Player. I don't know why this would be happening. I guess we'll just comment this out for now and we'll figure it out later. Okay, so we can see that this is going mostly to the right spot, but we also need to update this thing's position. So I'm going to turn this off and we can go into our player. Aiming possess dot position is equal to self dot distance self dot will be vector 2 0 0 dot distance 2 mouse pose divided by 2.0 should give us the right thing or not. Actually, we just do mouse pose divided by 2.0, perhaps. Doesn't exactly. No, that's my fault. We need to do last aim collide. Yeah, okay. So it's a little shaky. But it will work. Actually, I think I'm gonna change in our input map the Self Destruct key to our right mouse button. If input.is action just released, Self Destruct pass elif input.is action pressed Self Destruct, then update. And I'll update aiming possess, and we'll just delete this. So now, as long as we have this held down, it'll go to where we want. And we want to, in here, actually we're going to go aiming possess dot visible is equal to true. Then we're going to go else aiming possess dot visible is equal to false. We'll copy paste this into here. So now it's only visible when we are going to aim our self-destruct, and when we release it, that's when we're gonna actually make ourselves self-destruct. And I believe we should put in a cancel to it, so if the player attacks, it'll cancel this out, which we then need a variable for instead. So then var aiming possess is equal to false. And then we can do, oh yeah, we'll just say aiming because we're not going to have anything else that aims. So then aiming is equal to true, aiming is equal to false, aiming is equal to false, and then aiming possess, not visible, is equal to aiming. And I might just put this into our physics process actually. Put it right here. Actually no, we'll just put it right after update destruct. Okay, so it still works. And now where's our attack? Right here. Okay, so then here we're just gonna go aiming is equal to false, and we need to change our update destruct, and is action just pressed. No. Elif input dot is action just pressed. Actually, yeah, we'll do elif input dot action is just pressed, and then set aiming is equal to true in here. Then if aiming is equal to true, update aiming possess, and we can delete this line. So now we'll run it, and it seems to go away immediately. Oh yeah, so elif input dot is action pressed self destruct is equal to false. And we've got this dash, it goes away. Okay, and then in here we also need to check and aiming is equal to true. Okay. So now we need to make another attack. And I'm just going to open our other attack for reference. It's got damage, damage type. We don't need hurts enemies for this. And don't need color. Don't need direction. Yeah, it should be a lot simpler. So we'll go other node. Actually, yeah, node 2D, and we'll rename this Self Destruct, and we can add a sprite and an animation player and an area 2D and a collision shape 2D for that area. We'll name this Hurtbox. And then go into our assets, attacks, player self destruct. It seems like I forgot to re-import it without the filter. And then how many frames do we have? Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so now we'll save it under attacks. Then we'll go into our animation player, And we're just gonna do defaults because it's gonna call every time this starts, and we're just gonna key in the frames. We'll start at 0.1 for the difference, and then we'll just see how that looks. Which isn't enough for all of them, but I believe it should be sped up a bit. Let's go to 0.08. So just duration 0.88. Seems pretty good, so we'll add a call method tract onto the root node, and we're just gonna call Q3. Actually, we're going to need to adjust whether this is enabled or not. I'm just gonna start disabled. And let me just, actually instead of making it start disabled, now that it's start enabled, then we'll change its radius to something like C5, make it 4. Here, where we want it to be, like 20, no, a little high, 10. 16, 14, 19 maybe, yeah, and then this can be 21. And here we are going to disable it. So it's going to collide with enemies. And we'll, oh, we don't have a script yet, so we'll add that. And it's going to be body entered. If body dot is in group enemy, pass. I think there's actually, no, what is this? I don't know, but in our clone, in receive damage, what we want to do is push all of this forward, and then if health is bigger than 0, I'm just going to put that there. Okay, so then in Self Destruct, we're gonna go for damage is equal to 5 for now. For damage, actually we don't even need these variables. We can just go body dot receive damage 5. And then basic, is that what I called the damage? Let me check the large melee. Oh, it gets passed into them. Why did 2 breakpoints here? I don't know. Check for attack. What do we do? Physical. Yeah, so this is gonna be, I'm gonna make it void damage. And I don't know why I watched that, I haven't done anything. In a large melee, what else do we have? We don't need a rebound. Yeah, I think that's it. I leave it open for now though. So in our player, go into our script, const self destruct is equal to preload self destruct .tscn. I'm just going to move that up here. So then we'll go down into our update destruct, and here we'll do var self destruct is equal to self destruct dot instance get parents dot add child self destruct dot global position is equal to self dot global position. And then now we're going to do var player possess mode is equal to player possess mode dot instance get parent dot add child player possess mode player possess mode dot global position is equal to self dot global position. And here I forgot to do we're gonna do self dot rotation degrees is equal to self dot we'll do vector 2 0 0 dot angle to point get local mouse position. And do we need to do drag to deg? I forget. Yeah, I'll do plus 90. I don't know if we need it here or not, but I'll find out. Okay, so we have that in, and then we're going to do self.q3. Let's see what that does. Oh yeah, we need to do. Where's the player? We need to do global data dot player is equal to null. Yeah, I'm just gonna add that here. Okay, so I don't check if player is equal to null. And global data dot player is not equal to null. I need a couple of these. And global data dot player. Actually, I'm gonna put this right here. If global data dot player is not equal to null, where's our physics process? If global data player is not equal to null here, and we'll push these forward. Okay, seems to kind of work. Yeah, so then we just need to go into this. We'll actually make our direction based off of our off of our rotation. This should be correct. Goes straight down. Does it always go straight down? On the seams of things, yes. How about just print direction? Actually, we'll set the direction in the player's code. So, player, oh my, I forgot some stuff from the seams of it. Okay, so player possess mode dot direction is equal to local. Sorry, get local mouse position dot normalize. Now let's try this out. It works. Let's see what happens when we use the attack. Hits the enemy properly. And if this collides with the enemy, should queue free. I'll have to change some stuff. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Consider liking or subscribing, and in the next one I'll be having it so that the mask that we shoot out can actually possess the enemies that it then hits, and then the player will be able to have some of their traits. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day.